Hello all, in this video we are going to see what is the impact of telecommunication network on environment. I, Mrs. Manisha Rajput, participant of International Faculty Development Program on Environment and Sustainability. Now in my first video, the link is given over here. In my first video I have given the introduction of what is the International Telecommunication Union for telecom sector, what is the process of ITOT and what are the initiatives taken by ITOT towards the impact of climate change and the protection of the environment. So we have seen this in last week and we have also seen some solutions, example tackling of e-waste, smart solutions, example intelligent transport system and the future networks and the methodologies or the technologies adopted by the future networks. So now in this week we will going to see what are different standards developed by ITOT towards the environment and climate change. ITOT in consultation with ISO, that is International Organization for Standardization and IEC, that is International Electrotechnical Commission, they have formed few groups. Out of that, study group 5 is working on environment and climate change issues. So this study group 5 is responsible for studying the ICT environmental aspect of electromagnetic phenomena towards the protection of telecommunication network, electromagnetic compatibility, that is EMC, electromagnetic field, that is the EMF effect. These all effects are produced in terms of telecommunication devices. This study group is also responsible for studying the methodologies for assessing the environmental impact of ICT, publishing guidelines for ICTs in an eco-friendly way, tackling e-waste issues, energy efficiency of power feeding systems. It is also identifying the needs for more consistent and standardized eco-friendly practices for ICT sectors. Example, labeling, procurement of practices, eco-rating schemes for the mobile phones. So this is the structure of that study group 5. So study group 5 is mainly divided into two parts. The first part is EMC, that is electromagnetic compatibility, EMF, electromagnetic field and its effect on lighting and protection. And the second group is environment, energy efficiency and the circular economy. If you want in detail, the table is given over here. So ITOT in consultation with ISO and IEC has formed few standards towards the environmental impact. So the standards are listed over here. You can go through it. Now we will see the basics of what is the impact of telecommunication network on the environment. So prior to that, you should know what are the elements of a telecommunication network. Now here we will take the case study of a mobile network. Now mobile network consists of, these are the few elements: mobile devices, that is also called as a user device. It is having the base station, it is having the radio access network, it is having the core network. Core network may have gateways, then the RAN may have some controllers as well as the base station. So these are few elements, that is mobile device, RAN, radio network controller, which consists of base station, that is node 1, node 2, node 3. These are also called as the base stations, and to control all those base stations will be having the base station controller, also called as RNC. Then the impact, this RNC is controlled by the core network. Now core network is again having multiple elements, that is SGSN, which is a service GPRS support node, GGSN, which is a gateway support node, IMS, which is a used for multimedia systems, and GMSC is also called as gateway for mobile switching center, MSC, that is a mobile switching center. So core network, RAN network and the mobile solution, these are few elements of a mobile network. Now What are the current scenarios of mobile network? Current study indicate that the level of carbon emission due to communication and the information technologies has reached up to 10% of overall carbon footprint, of which 2% to 3.5% corresponds to only mobile network. So, there is no doubt that considering the actual trends, such values will rise exponentially with the massive requirement of 5G network. Whatever the earlier diagram we have seen, it is the diagram of a 3G network. Now currently we are working in the 4G, or also called as a LTE network. Now whenever we are going towards the 5G, 5G is also called as a massive. Massive means it is having a lot of devices connected to the 5G network. So whenever we are moving towards 5G network, so obviously its growth is a exponentially rising growth. So this means that smart and energy efficient technique may cease contributing to reduce the carbon emission. An additional approach must be considered to further reduce overall network carbon footprint in terms of a greenhouse gas emission. So this is the carbon footprint of a current scenario, and the breakdown per system component of the current network is given. So you can see the mobile device manufacturing consists of 30% of CO2 emission. Then the RAN site operator, that is RSO, consists of 29%. Data centers and data transport operators consist of 19%. Mobile device operation, that is MDO, consists of 10%. RAN site manufacturing consists of 4%, and MNO activities, that is mobile network operators, consist of the 8%. Now these are only the hardware part. Now if you move towards the software part, the ratio will be a different. So this I have just given you the idea that what is the contribution of overall CO2 emission, that is the carbon emission, in case of a current mobile network. So the solution that is guided by the study group 5 are: the first is to protect the telecommunication equipment and installation against damage and malfunction due to electromagnetic disturbances such as those from the lightning and thunder. The second is to ensure the safety of personnel and users of network against current and voltages used in the telecommunication network. The third is to avoid health risk from electromagnetic field, that is EMF, produced by telecommunication devices and its installation. The fourth is to guarantee the good quality of service, that is QoS, for high speed data services by providing requirement on characteristics of copper cables and on the coexistence of services delivered by different providers. Publishing guidelines for using ICTs in an eco-friendly way, and also studying design methodologies to reduce the ICT and e-waste adverse environmental effect. Example, through recycling of ICT facilities and the equipment. So the few solutions are, they are given the few solutions. The examples are, the first one is universal charging solution, UCS. Now an energy efficient one charger fits to all mobile phones regardless of what is the make and model of that mobile phone, modem, set-top boxes, home networking equipment, and the fixed telephones. So if you provide a universal charging solution which will further reduce the number of chargers manufactured by widening the range of compatible devices. Also it facilitates the adapter reuse and recycling and increase the build quality and resilience to over voltages. This is just an example. So if you have the universal charger, then obviously the manufacturing will be reduced, and then in turns it will reduce the e-waste. So this is the example in case of the hardware, which will gives you reduction in the e-waste and reuse and recycling will increase. The second solution is green future networks. By minimizing the energy consumption of network facilities such as routers, switches, equipment at the terminating points. So these are the elements of a network. So by minimizing the energy consumption of these devices, we can minimize the energy consumption, and this can be achieved by technologies such as sleep mode control. So whenever the network is not receiving or is not transmitting, then the network will have to go in the sleep mode. Smart antenna technologies, lightweight protocol, transmission scheduling and traffic peak shifting. So these are some technologies which will be in turns with the software, and so it will reduce the time and the space complexity. So these are two examples, hardware as well as software, and how they will help us to reduce the e-waste and reuse and recycling, how to increase the reuse and recycling. And the second example is by making the changes in the software, example lightweight protocol and all these things, we will reduce the time and the space complexity. Time complexity means the algorithm will be a faster one. Space complexity means it will take very less space to store the number of algorithms. So these are some digital solutions to tackle the climate change, helping use of digital technologies for monitoring, mitigation and adapting to the climate change, protecting human health and the environment from the e-waste, and facilitating the digital solution for energy efficiency by driving down emission and reducing the carbon footprint, in turn reducing the GHG emission. Thank you all.